And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. What a great day. What a great morning. What a great time to be alive. Don't y'all agree? Good morning. I am breathing hard because I've been trying to get to trying to get set down in this chair for four minutes from taking a shower, running upstairs and trying to get Jagger awake and all that kind of stuff. So here we go, guys. Good morning. Good morning, Carrie, Teal, Bailey, Anna, Anthony, Vanessa, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday, man. What a great day. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, peeps, she says. What's happening? This coffee's making me awesome. I'm going to give me a little bit more. Good morning, Alex. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I'm trying to get my iPad to kick in. I'm thinking that's Anna, who's a Facebook user. We're going to go. My iPad is updating thanks to technology. My iPad is now updating. So, good morning. How's everybody doing? Man, Wednesday, August the 10th, 2022. The last August the 10th, 2022 your life is ever going to see. It's the last August the 10th that you're ever going to wake up with all the possibilities in front of you and now, 18 hours to do all the wonderful things that you're supposed to do today. So I want you to attack this day. I want you to attack this day with some gusto, with some vigor, with some. Can y'all hear me really good? I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Let me check my settings really quick. Sorry. Attack this day with some gusto. Attack this day with some vigor. Attack this day with everything you've got. Attack your business. Attack your goals. Attack your dreams. Attack your desires. As people are still coming in here, y'all know the deal. Everybody's doing great. Telling me good morning. That's kind of the deal when you jump on here with us in the morning. You tell us you jump on here, and if you're Exit Realty Lake Country, you're an agent with us, or you are on the Nation. Just let us know you're here. We like to know who we're talking to. So thanks y'all for doing that. If you're watching this later, put a comment, put something in there so that we know you watch it later. There's something that touches you, something that reaches you, something that grabs you, or even punches you in the gut a little bit. It makes you think. You can comment on that as well. So let's get going. The first thing I want to say this morning to y'all is I've really been harping on dreams and desires. I've really been harping on you guys going after what it is in your soul, what it is your birthright, what it is you've been given, what it is you have a dream to achieve. I've really been harping on that for the last, 6 or 7 weeks or so. I've really been harping on that because it's so super important for y'all to get a direction of where you want to go. And why, if you're going to go in a direction, why not go in the direction of your dreams? Right? You got to go in a direction. You're never not going one way or the other. You're never sitting still. You're either going forward or you're going backward. We don't sit. There's nothing in nature that sits still. So we're always going forward or we're always going backward. Had a conversation yesterday, and Christy uses this analogy all the time, and it's so true. If you're sitting in a boat in the middle of the lake, the boat's trying to go a direction. The boat never sits still. Even when you put out anchors, the boat never sits still. It's always trying to go a direction. Nature's either growing or it's dying. It's never just stagnant. It's never just still. It's never just there. So it's always going in a direction. So if you're going to go in a direction, if you got to get up and chase something, why not chase your dreams? Why not chase your desires? But here's what I wanted to say this morning. I don't want it to come across is that the only dream and desire that I want you to focus on is financial, that the only dream and desire I want you to focus on is real estate, that the only dream and desire I want you to focus on is having some kind of material thing. That's not at all what I'm saying. You could have a dream or desire to have a fantastic marriage. You could have a dream or desire to be a fantastic parent. You could have a dream or desire to raise your child free from harm or evil. You could have a dream or desire to have a magnificent relationship with another human being. You could have a dream or desire. My point is, your dream and desire is your dream and desire. It's not mine. My job on this journey is not to take you to a place, drop you off at the front door and say, this is the storeroom where all your dreams and desires are. Go pick you one. That's not my role in this journey. My role in this journey is to sort of be a train conductor and us get the train going. And when the train stops at a station and you think this is where I need to, this is my dream and desire, this is what I'm focusing on. I'm gonna get off here and make this thing work. The next stop. That's kind of my role in this, is to just help direct you toward, help you uncover, help you get introduced to, reintroduced to, reinvigorate those dreams and desires. Does that make sense? Because it's not my job. It's not anybody else's job to tell you what you should or should not want. It's not anybody else's job. Because I'm going to tell you, more times than not, if your dream or desire is big enough, I promise you, not everybody shares the same opinion of your dream and desire. I can call my mother right now, promise you, but I could get on a phone call. I could put her on speakerphone. We could have a conversation. And in about 10 minutes, she's going to say something to the effect of, I just don't see how you do it. I just don't see how you keep it all together. Oh, it just stressed me out so bad to have all those agents depending on me and all those offices open and all that terrible overhead. Oh my gosh, I just can't even imagine the kind of stress that you guys must be under all the time. Within 10 minutes, that's what she would say. My mother, my parental figure, the person who was half responsible for bringing me into the world, would say those things to me within 5 or 10 minutes. So be very careful who you relay your dreams and desires to, because a lot of times those dreams and desires are so big and you're not in a place to even look. I mean, right now, legitimately, if I walk down the street, I say to Jagger, when I tell Jagger I'm going to have a jet airplane, but I'm going to have a jet, we're going to have a private jet to fly on. When I tell Jagger that, you know what Jagger's face does? He looks at me and he does this. That's what he does. My 10-year-old, who has got the world by the tail, who has every opportunity to do most everything and anything that he wants. When I say to him, I'm going to have a private jet, he gives me this look. Because he doesn't understand, he doesn't feel the way I feel about my dream and desire. That's why back in July, I asked you guys to write down those dreams and desires, write down those things, write down in that 6-week action plan when Tammy Bunnell says to review your dreams and desires. Thanks to an accountability group that I got, I don't know how I got. True statement, Lynn. Lynn says when people don't know how to dream, or they are content where they are, they live a life of mediocrity. They live a life of ho-hum. They live a life of status quo. Content where they are. That should be in quotations, right? Because that's what your ego tells you. It's okay to be right here. Everything's fine. It's okay to be right here. What else could you ask for? Stop being greedy. There's no reason to go after that. Just stay right here. There's no reason to think that you're better than anybody else. Just chill. That's what the ego says. So when people don't know how to dare dream, they are content where they are, right? They're content where they are, and that contentment is mediocrity. That contentment is hypnotization. That content where you are, you'll hear Steve Morris say this. One of the greatest superpowers, Steve Morris, the founder of our company, the person who sits up in front of a training session yesterday in Mississauga, Canada, speaks to new broker owners. And the first thing that he talks about is the superhuman power of your imagination. I promise you, if I could watch video of Steve Morris speaking, I can assure you within the first 5 or 10 minutes of him speaking to a room full of new broker owners, he says Do not underestimate the superhuman power of your imagination. And then he'll encourage you to rekindle that imagination. He'll encourage you. Good morning, Michelle T. He'll encourage you to go after the things that you imagine. Go after your dreams and desires. Write those things down. Start going after them. That's what he encourages you to do. Steve Morris, the founder of this company, the founder of Exit. Guess what? I said in the same founder speech when I was at Remax, and I said at Broker 101 in Denver, Colorado, at the Denver Tech Center, at the Remax World Headquarters, and we sat there. We didn't hear a vision for Remax. We didn't hear this is how you achieve these goals. We didn't hear the inspirational talk of welcome to this new opportunity. The only thing that's going to limit you is the breadth and depth of the understanding of yourself. That's not what they said. They said what's going to limit you is the number of agents you recruit. What's going to limit you is the amount of revenue that you generate. What's going to limit you is not having these structures in place. Completely different train of thought. Completely different deal. Okay. So I just want to clear that up. I know sometimes there is maybe a misperception, a misconception, and sometimes in your ego and your negative Nelly, you can say to yourself, or you can say to a friend, or you can say to somebody else, all Aaron talks about is jet airplanes. All he talks about is making money. All he talks about is material things. That's all he talks about. So I'm going to squash that right now. I'm going to squish that bug right now and tell you that ain't what it's all about. Because some of the most magnificent things in my life have nothing to do with money. Probably some of the most significant things in my life have nothing to do with money. Sometimes when I have the opportunity to lay in the bed and look over at Christy and watch her sleeping, that's pretty awesome. Sometimes when Christy and I are sitting on the couch and drinking coffee and there are no kids and the dogs are chill, they're not doing their feats of strength and they're not celebrating Festivus in the morning, and it's super quiet and chill, and we're just having coffee and we're getting to share with each other what's in our heads. We're getting to share with each other what's in our hearts. In those quiet moments, you can't value those. Those moments are extremely special. The first time I held Halson, hell, every time I hold Halson, the first time I held all my kids, watching Jagger score a goal, seeing Cade do something that he loves to do, seeing him come home with a big smile on his face, those things are priceless. And that is true. That is true. Carrie said, isn't that why we work? And morning, Millie. And she said, and then she also said, but you can't enjoy the significant thing you can enjoy when you're not stressed about money. It makes life a little easier. And that's true. That is a true statement. But what I want you to realize, that you stressing about money, okay, that the stress that you feel about some situation, finances, your real estate business, your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your spouse, the stress that you feel is a fear. Okay. The stress that you feel is a fear emotion. It's a cortisol. It's a fight or flight or hide kind of emotion. And that's the stress that you feel. If you can find a way in life, we're going to have stresses, right? There's going to be traffic. People are going to pull out in front of us. People are going to call us names. People are going to talk crap about you behind your back. People are going to undermine the things that you do, even when you're trying to give it your all and do everything that you know in your power to do. People are going to talk about you behind your back. They're going to try to undermine you. That's their problem, right? Because how people act is more a reflection of who they are than who I am. So I don't stress about that stuff anymore. I've been stressed about that before. I've been worried about that before. I have been, when you wake up and your lights are off, you stress about money. When you got like $15 in the bank. When you wake up and your water's turned off, you stress about money because you got like $15 in the bank. So been there, done that, right? But again, and this is kind of, I'm gonna transition into the question today. All right. Like attracts like. The more emotion, the more time, the more effort you spend on stressful things, guess what you get? More stressful things. Because at some level, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in whatever, if you believe in the law of attraction, if you believe in like attracts like, if you believe in you get what you think about, if you get you experience what you believe, if you believe those things, then it works both ways. If you spend a bunch of time stressing about stuff, you're going to get more stuff to stress about, I promise you. But if you can find a way to process that, find a way to put that in the bucket it belongs in, because I can assure you the days of me worrying about what people say about me are over. The days of me worrying about somebody trying to undermine me behind my back, those days are over. Done. Not doing it. Not going to do it. My life is too awesome right now. My life is too awesome all the time. The people that love me, that I love, that's awesome. You guys are awesome. So I ain't sweating that. I'm not sweating any of that stuff. So here's the question that I asked today. Here's the question I asked today this morning. This is kind of where I want to go with this. Which button, and I'm glad that Carrie and Lynn and everybody's commenting here. I love this interactive stuff. I do. Because you're thinking this way, okay? The question that I asked for this call this morning is, which button is bigger? And I could do this a couple of different ways. Is the yes button bigger or the no button bigger? Is your easy button bigger than your hard button? Is your I can do it button bigger than I can't do it button? Is your optimism button bigger than your skepticism button? If you were to evaluate where you are emotionally right now, do you feel more like you can, or do you feel more like you can't? When you put, I don't have to ask that question. I know how big my butt is. Thank you very much. So is your button, the thing that you push, the thing that you hit when it's time to go, is your I can button bigger than your I can't button? Or is your I can't button bigger than I can button? Because so many of us don't chase our dreams and desires. So many of us don't have that destination. So many of us don't value what's in our heart, what's in our spirit, what's God given to us, because we've built a life around I can't. The phrase that I was looking for yesterday, that I was searching for in the book, change is hard. I said that yesterday. Change is hard. It is. To change a habit, to change a behavior, to change, do this, all of you. Those of you, Alex, Michelle, Millie, who else is on here that's going to do this morning? Vanessa, Teal, all of you that drive your kids to school, okay? I want you to drive a different direction today. Don't drive the way you always drive. Don't pull out of the driveway, leave the neighborhood the same way you always do it. Do it a different way. Do it a different way today, and watch how uncomfortable that is. Drive your kid to school a different direction today, and watch how uncomfortable that is. Something as simple as that. Do you know, for years and years and years, I grew up in a house where the first thing my dad did when he woke up in the morning is he turned the TV on. Out of habit. Walked up, pushed the button, TV's on. Before he made coffee, before he did anything, he turned the TV on. He was a police officer. He worked in negativity all the time. He stayed in negativity. So for him to watch the news, it just fed that negativity. It just fed all the drama. It fed that beast that was in him that he dealt with every single day. I grew up in that home. I grew up with those emotional inputs. I grew up feeling like that's the way to do it. Okay? I grew up feeling the exact same way. So for years, I would wake up, walk downstairs, turn the TV on. First thing, turn on the news in the morning. How many of you do that? How many of you wake up just out of habit and click a button and turn on some media? You look at your phone, you scroll through emails. Brooke said part of her morning routine was to open up her computer. I don't see Brooke on here this morning, but she said the meeting last Wednesday, part of her morning routine was waking up and opening up her computer. How many of you have that habit? How many of you have that habit where you pick up your phone and you start scrolling? You start looking to see what happened the night before. Did anybody have a baby? Did anybody die? Oh my gosh, look at there. Oh my gosh. And then before you know it, you've lost 30 or 45 minutes of your morning, the most precious time of your day. That's why I told you on Wednesday, don't open up a computer. Don't pick up any technology for an hour. Unless I put everything on Do Not Disturb, okay? And I do my affirmations on my iPad. Or I have a meditation app on my phone that I let that meditation app kind of run my meditation for me. Or if I'm doing my visualization, I use my iPad to see my pictures, okay, to do my visualization. If you're doing things like that, I'm okay with it. Just don't scroll. Just don't fall into that hole, okay? How big is your button? How big is your button? Is your I can't button bigger than your I can button? Are you afraid to win, or are you afraid to start? Change is hard. It's messy in the middle, but it's gorgeous in the end. If you got some stick-to-itness, if you've got some persistence, change is messy is hard. It's messy in the middle. There, in that middle portion, when you get started, you're going to have lots and lots of motivation. Here we go, New Deal. Why do you think New Year's resolutions never work? Everybody gets excited about the New Year's resolution. Everybody gets excited about making New Year. This year, I'm doing this. This year, I'm doing this. This is the year. By George, this is the year I'm doing this. And by March the 1st, done. Because their I can't button is bigger than their I can button. And the resolution that they say they're going to have is nothing but words. There's no belief in it. There's no emotion tied to that. There's no motivation for that. If somebody right now walked in my front door, took Jagger, took him away, put him in a box, a jail cell, kept him away from me, and said, "You've got to work out for 90 days straight, every single day for 90 days, or you're never seeing Jagger again." Do you think I would put my fat butt? Speaking of butt, do you think I wouldn't put my fat butt in the gym? Do you think I wouldn't work out for 90 days straight? That's some pretty big motivation. That outside motivation. That's pretty big. That's pretty valuable. That motivation is going to keep me going. Especially when I get to about 45 days and they send me another message and they say, "If you quit, we're going to kill him." You don't think I'm not digging in? You don't think I'm not videoing me at the gym every single day for 90 days? Is your I can't button bigger than your I can button? Because at the end of the day, we don't have that kind of motivation. At the end of the day, we don't have anything in our lives that are going to motivate us that much. Unless today you got some diagnosis of some terminal disease and you're going to die in 30 days, then you might have some outside motivation that made you push a little harder. I'd make it to the gym twice, without a doubt. I mean, I'm telling you what, I'd be a monster in 90 days. And then I'd kill them. But I digress. My point is, some of your I can't buttons are bigger than your I can buttons. Some of your fear buttons are bigger than your love buttons. Because that's all this is about. It's love or fear. And if you operate out of fear, if you operate on that side of the line, everything's bad. It's always somebody else's fault. I'm never good enough. I don't know why he keeps talking about this stuff all the time, because we're never going to do this. I'm not sure why he keeps talking about this all the time, why we keep harping on this. I just want to go sell real estate. If you're operating out of fear, if you're not operating in love, that's where you are. When you're operating in love, man, you wake up every single morning on this call thinking, What am I going to get today? What am I going to? I do that every single. I'm telling you right now, my practice in the morning has. I'm so reinvigorated with my practice in the morning now, and the things that I do. I can't wait to read this book. I can't wait to sit down and be quiet and do a meditation. I'm so excited that I'm doing my affirmations again. Hell, I did 50 push-ups this morning. 50 push-ups this morning. The hardest, I'm telling you, I used to be able to do 50. I used to be able to do 100 push-ups, like in one set, just pop, 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 pop. I did 50 this morning, thought I was going to die. But I started. My yes button, my I can button is that big around. My I can't button is that big around. One of the things that's going to make you happy in life, one of the things that's going to make you go, one of the things that's going to give you drive and determination is trying new things, learning a new task, doing something different, driving your kid to school a different direction. Get out of autopilot. Turn the autopilot off in your life. Stop living every single day on autopilot. You're missing so much. You're missing you. You don't value you when you're on autopilot. Because the only person at the end of the day who's going to motivate you to be better, the only person who at the end of the day who's going to motivate you to do more, the only person at the end of the day who's going to motivate you to go after that dream and desire, change that relationship, change your financial status, eliminate that stress, do the thing you're supposed to do, the only person that's going to do it ultimately is you. It's me. Christy can't make me do it. She can get mad. She can get upset because I'm not doing X. I'm not doing Y. You need to start doing this. You start doing that. Okay, I agree. I agree 100%. But until it means something to me, I'm not going to do it. And that's not bad. That's just life. That's just the way it is. I joke all the time that I've learned how to make things her idea, right? So because if I present something as my idea, then I get that. I get the rebuttal. I get the criticism. I get the, and I say criticism. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I get the critical nature of Christy. That's just who she is. She's a very critical thinker. And she looks for every little hole in something. When you try to present her something, she's trying to find the holes in the boat. She's trying to find where the water's going to get in. She's going to try to make this thing so airtight so that when it's presented, it's going to be, that's what she does. So when I present something to her, it's my idea. I think I've only had one idea that I've given to her in the 4 years we've been together. I've given her one idea that she's like, oh my gosh, that's a really good idea, Aaron. Let's do that. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And it's the little video board. I'll tell you what it is. It's the video things in Madison, and the video things in Greensboro that run the logo on the TVs. That's the only idea she accepted at face value. Only one, and I love it. First of I'll probably get 10. I think I'll probably have 10 of those through my life with her. But that's pretty funny, actually. I'm getting off track here. The only person. Which button's bigger for you? What is it? What have you written down, y'all? I'm not telling you something I don't do. What have you written down? What have you written? What thoughts? What dreams? What crazy ideas have you written down in a journal? What words that belong to you have you gotten out of your head and out of your heart and put on a piece of paper that I can go back? This journal started in March of 2020. How much has my life changed since March of 2020? How much has my life changed? I mean, I looked at the first page of this thing. Right there. Y'all can't see this, can't read because you can't read my writing. But right there, I've got numbers of how many agents. March of 2020, how many agents did I want in the office? My dream, my desire, putting the vision in place, finding the spot that we've got to go. Do you have one of these? Are you writing down your thoughts? Are you writing down your dreams? Do you have something that you go look at every single day that says, this is where I'm going? Do you remind yourself every single day, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. I'm going to be the number one listing agent in Milledgeville. I'm going to be the number one listing agent at the lake. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to be the number one agent in Hartwell. I'm going to be the number one agent in Northeast Georgia. I'm going to be the best wife. I'm going to provide my kids this opportunity. We're going to go to Disney World. We're going to fly in a private jet on vacation. Just me and my family. I'm telling y'all, that private jet thing has got some legs. Because I have heard from everybody. Hell, Eric White, Coach Burt's guy, Eric White, our guy for Coach Burt, he says, man, he said the difference is unreal. He said, once you start flying private, you'll never want to go step in an airport again. Sorry, Siri's talking to me. How many things could you experience? How many things could you do? How many doors would open for you? How many opportunities would present themselves to you? How many things would it be possible if you could make your not button, your I can't button, smaller than your I can button? Because as soon as you start believing in yourself, as soon as you start believing I can, everything gets easier. That's the cool thing about this. And then the universe, the like attracts like. God says, well done. Well done. Let's go. Here you go. Here you go. The reason change is hard, the reason it's messy in the middle is because you got to be persistent. You got to be consistent. You got to have discipline. You got to keep doing the things that you're supposed to do. Y'all, nature has built it this way. If it comes easy, it goes easy. If you took pills to lose weight, you gain it back in 3 months. And it hurts your heart. And it makes you sick because that's not the way it's supposed to be done. If you build a house in 30 days, it's going to fall apart when you have the first storm. If you do it fast and you get it fast, it's going to go fast. Change is hard. It's messy in the middle. You got to build new habits. You got to build some consistency. You got to build some strength over time. You got to make the things last. You got to make your I can button bigger than I can't. I talked to some of the newer agents on the call yesterday. I said, or Monday, and I was talking about how you think right now and how you start building your business right now, Vanessa, how you start creating those habits right now for you are going to carry you 10 years from now in your real estate business. You hear me talk about using Boomtown. Y'all know Boomtown works. You know Boomtown works. The reason you don't use Boomtown is because it's just not comfortable. It's like driving to school a different way. You're more in the habit of taking the phone call, write some notes down on a piece of paper, may or may not put that in Boomtown. You're going to keep that piece of paper in a book. If you're Michelle Tilson or you're my wife, you've got 7 books, and you got to find which notebook you took those notes in for that particular client. But again, you can do real estate without Boomtown. But for most of you, it's just muscle memory. It's just not using the muscles. For me, I use the muscles. Yesterday, I'm driving down the road. Jagger says, you get on the phone again? I said, yep, a lead came in. Call the lead. Have a conversation with the lead when he comes in. As soon as he comes in, don't get them all, but I got this one. Had a conversation with him, took some notes in, driving down the road, voice memoed the notes into Boomtown, click save, and then send it to the agent with the notes. Don't y'all love that? When you get a lead from me and I've got notes in there already, and I've already talked to them. So Bailey says he's using his Boomtown now. Okay, fantastic. It's just muscle memory. It's just muscle memory. It's like getting up an hour early to have your morning time. It's muscle memory. It's hard to create muscle memory. It's hard to create a new habit. It's difficult. I promise you, this morning, when the alarm went off at 4 o'clock in the morning, if you thought yesterday morning it was hard getting up, this morning was even harder. I'm telling you, I wanted to stay in the bed so bad and sleep another just 5 more minutes. Just 5. There's a song, 5 more minutes. Just 5. What's that going to hurt? What's 5 more minutes going to hurt? If I were to sleep till 4:05, would that impact you at all? If I were to sleep 5 more minutes, would it impact you at all? No, you wouldn't even know. But it's a crack. I remember hearing a sermon years ago, and I love this preacher. And it was a guy that I respected so much. We played golf together. He was a young guy. He was so fantastic as a preacher, man. He could paint pictures, and he was just amazing, just a fantastic preacher until he cheated on his wife with somebody in the church. And whoa, as Jagger says, whoa. But I remember him having a sermon one day, and he was talking about a vision that he had and having a conversation with the devil and asking the devil how do you get so many Christians off their path? What weapons do you use to get so many Christians off their path, to get so many humans away from their birthright, to get so many people away from the path that God wants for them to have? What tools do you use? And he said the devil laid out all these tools. He unrolled this sheet. He unrolled the cover, this burlap sack, and all these tools were on the table. And there were swords and hatchets and hammers and guns and bombs and the mace and all these things. And they were all pristine, just like they'd never been used. And in the middle of all those tools was a wedge. Just a wedge. You ever seen a wedge where you get a crack and you put the wedge and you start hammering the wedge to make the crack bigger? It was a wedge, and the wedge was battered. The wedge was beaten. The wedge obviously had been used 1,000 times more than any other weapon on that table. And the devil said to him, "It's no weapon at all. I use a wedge. Just give me a crack. Give me a crack I can get this wedge in, and I'll make it work. Give me a crack to get this wedge in, and I will pull them off their path." Just give me a crack. If I stayed in bed to 4:05, you wouldn't even know it. Wouldn't affect you in the least little bit. But it's a crack. And that 4:05 turns to 4:10. And that 4:10 turns to 4:30. And before you know it, I'm scrambling to get on this call. Before you know it, the call goes away. Before you know it, I'm not reading. Before you know it, I'm not journaling. Before you know it, I'm not doing my morning meditation. And then I'm not in a place where I'm able to give you everything that's been given to me. I'm not able to give our company everything our company desires. The same thing in your relationship with your spouse. It's the same thing in the relationship with your kids. It's the same thing in anything that matters. You've got to protect those things. Don't allow cracks. Stay focused. Stay persistent. Do the things that are supposed to be done. I promise you, you don't make the amount of phone calls that you set for yourself one day, it gets easier the next day. I'm telling y'all, it is 2022. The last time I seriously worked out in a gym consistently was probably Jagger was born in 2011. So probably 2010, 2009. So going on 12 or 13 years of me not being in the gym, 12 or 13 years of me not running and taking care of myself physically, 12 or 13 years of me neglecting an entire piece of my total person. And you know how that started? Do you know how 13 years started? I know you know. Millie, Michelle, all you guys that work out every morning, tell me right now, put a comment on that box if you're still here. Put a comment in that box and you tell me how that happened. How did 13 years away from the gym happen? Something that I've done religiously since I was 14 years old. AD's got it. I skipped one day. Something inconsequential. Something that didn't mean very much. You know what? I just don't feel like going today. Took one day off. A little crack. Enough to get a wedge in there. Enough to get something in there. Allowed myself an excuse. And that one day turned into 13 years. Is your I can button bigger than your I can't button? Or is your I can't button bigger than your I can button? What are you so willing to do to achieve the things you're supposed to achieve? Because I promise you, your dreams and desires aren't for you. They're for everybody else around you. When Violet sees her mama blow up her real estate business, it changes Violet. When Rhett and Riggs watch their parents tear up this business, tear up real estate, tear up construction, it changes their perspective on life. When people around you said to you, you're never going to be anything, you're never going to amount to much, and you're a leader at Exit Realty Lake Country, you're a leader in the real estate business, and it makes them eat their words, it changes them. It changes the people around that. When somebody tells you you're never going to be anything, you're never going to accomplish much, you're always going to be a piece of shit. Sorry, Violet. My bad. Piece of crap. When somebody tells you that you're never going to amount to anything, and you start amounting to something, it changes the world around you. So achieving your dreams and desires is not just for you. It's not some selfish ambition. It's not some selfish accomplishment. It's not some selfish, this is what I'm going to get. The greater gift is you're able to give. And those things you get back when you give are exponentially greater than anything you lose, anything you give away. When you give love to others, it comes back to you exponentially more. You put $200 in somebody's bank account, you'll exponentially get the $2,000 back. You can't outgive God. And all God wants you to do is give. Be a light. Be a vessel. Be out there loving other people, going after what you're supposed to go after, going after the things that He put in your heart to have, going after those dreams and desires that you're supposed to be going after, using that superhuman power of imagination and feeling what it's going to feel like to be in that spot. I'm almost done. I'm trying to figure out how to stop this thing. Yesterday, I needed to stop in 45 minutes, and I'm right here at the edge of this right now. And I've got a video that I'm going to show you guys this morning. Let me think. I'm going to find one here. Here we go. Let me ask you this. I want to ask you this. Why do you get up every single morning and do this? It's not because you're looking at me, and it's not because I'm so smart and I say things so fantastically. It's not, it can't be. There's no way. Why do you get up in the morning and get on these calls? Do you realize, and I want to point something out to you, and it's got nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with Christy. It has nothing to do with Exit Realty Lake Country. These calls were born out of an inspiration. These morning calls were born out of an inspiration. Driving down the interstate, headed to an airport, Christy said, this is a good idea. Divinely inspired, dropped in her spirit. Her words say it. And I'm like, you know what? That's a great idea. Great idea. So we start doing this, and these calls evolve. The messages evolve. They started off as really, really silly. Me and Christy being silly, goofing off. Kind of had a little lull in the middle. Things kind of got this direction and that direction. We took the summer off because Christy and I didn't really see the value. We saw the numbers dropping, didn't see the value in the calls. So we pull out. Y'all say, hey. why don't we start doing these calls again? So we're like, okay, we'll start doing the calls again. And so Christy and I have this challenge of how do we make these calls informative? How do we make these calls attractive? How do we get more than 12, 13, 15 people? How do we get 100 people on these calls? So we start thinking about all this. None of those things matter. Honestly, none of those things matter. Bailey says, because you tell me to get off my ass and to work and reach what my goals are. And that's there's part of that, right? There's part of that. But I can tell Jagger to go drive a car. And Jagger's got the ability to drive a car. Inherently, he's got the motor skills and the function. He's a very athletic person. He's got the ability to go drive a car, right? But he ain't gonna go do it. And he's not gonna go do it because he's scared to do it. I can put him in a go-kart that does 10 miles an hour, he'll do that. But when I challenge him to go drive a vehicle, he gets scared and he won't do it. So I can tell you all the time, I consider, but this is not the point. There's a piece of that, Bailey, but here's what I'm telling you. I believe in this moment that the reason you're on these calls is because there is a draw in your spirit to do something huge. There is a draw in your spirit to be bigger than you are right now. There's a draw in your spirit to do something meaningful in your life. So you sacrifice your mornings to be on this call. Answer this call. Answer that. Go do your hair, brush your teeth.
Where's my backpack?
Upstairs in your room. We got to go, so hurry up. Let me read you this, because here's where I'm going. Awesome takes patience. Genius takes time. Do not neglect the call on you to deploy your fullest talents. Magnify your spectacular strengths. Multiply your happiness and discover a paradise of peace within you that no outer event can ever reduce. This is why you're here. You're answering a call. But instead of just listening to me say, get off your ass, Bailey, go get off your ass. Instead of just listening to words that are coming out of my mouth, do something with it. Knowledge is useless if you don't apply the knowledge. Motivation is pointless if you don't go out and do anything. Do not neglect the call on you to deploy your fullest talents. Magnify your spectacular strengths, multiply your happiness, and discover a paradise of peace within you that no outer event can reduce. You're here. You guys are here. You'll watch this call because you're drawn to this call. You'll watch this call in the morning because it helps you get your day started. But it's more than that. There's a call on you to do something great. There's a call on you to be spectacular. There's a call on you to reach your dreams and desires, because there's a world that needs Camelia Hurt to be the best version of her. There's a world that needs Bailey Leon Hurt to be the best version of him. There's a world that needs Carrie Leland, Anthony Davis, Vanessa Self, Lynn Grizzle, Michelle Tilson, Alex Martin, all of you, everybody that watches this, Teal McKinney, there is a world out there that needs you to be the best version of you. That's why you're here, because you have a desire to be the best version of you. Because there's only 12 of you left on this call. Some of you thought it was more important to go do something else, because there was like 16 earlier. So four of you went off and did something else because you thought that something was more important. 12 of you have hung tight, and you're staying to the end. Do not neglect the call on your life. Do not neglect the things that you're supposed to do. Do not neglect the magnificence that's inherent in your superhuman ability to have your imagination. Don't neglect that. Okay, well, there's one more dropped off, so y'all are dropping like flies. So here's what I'm gonna say. This is for agents of Exit Realty Lake Country. I'm going to share my screen. I sent an email out yesterday. I did not get any responses, but I'm hoping to, if the response is good enough and we can get 15 or 20 agents in this class, to hold another Brian Buffini class. Some of you who have already done Brian Buffini, Alex Martin, Barbara Hancock, Winston Gibbs, Anthony Davis, Michelle did her mentoring piece of that, Joni. Some of you that have already done Buffini, you know how good Buffini is. And it's not anything groundbreaking. It's not anything mind-blowing. There's not some magic pill that he's found that he says, if you'll do this, your business will explode. It's literally doing the things you should be doing to build a sustainable, growable, blowable, upable business. I just made those words up, blowable and upable. It's something that's fantastic. So if you've been to Brian Buffini training, you want to comment, I'll put your comment on there. But I think Alex is the only one on here that's been to a Buffini training. There is a cost for this. I don't know how much exactly it is right now, but I sent an email out yesterday to everybody in the company, all the people who have not taken Buffini. So if you have a desire to build your business, if you have a desire to blow your business up, if you have a desire to get back to the basics, to figure out how you should build a business around referrals, I'm telling you, one of the two fastest ways to put more money in your pocket in this business is to sell bigger houses and be more referable. That's it. Do one deal and 4 more come. That's the fastest way to increase your business. Okay. So is it Facebook? So there's Alex. Alex says she loves Buffini. I'm guessing this is Anna. He's great. So I'm going to share this video real quick. Y'all hang tight with me. Just stay tight. Just hang tight. I guess it would help a ton if I share my screen. That's going to be so much easier. Hang on a second. All right, here we go.
You can. Become a person of influence? Can I become a master? Can I become a millionaire? Can I become a person of influence? Can I have a business that's so successful that I can either pass it on to my descendants or sell it? Yes, you can. This is what I did in my own career. This is what our companies trained and coached tens of thousands of people to do. We want you to become the cream of the crop, the black belts in this business. Technical knowledge will represent about 15% of your success. 85% of your success will be predicted by your ability to generate a lead. Competence is what people want first when it comes to their professional needs. Now, if they get character as well, you put both of them together, then they'll do business with you and refer you up a storm. I'm going to show you what I call the loyalty combination. And it's a way for you to lock in every buyer. Now, this program outlines 10 strategies to generate an extra 3 listings a month. Don't tell someone what's important to them. Discover what's important to them. We're here to solve problems and find these mutual agreements. It sounds so intimidating, doesn't it? Oh, I have a business plan. I mean, I'm just a realtor. I'm just trying to make a few sales. Goals, finances, time. Those are the 3 elements of a business plan. Money, instead of being a worry, will become a joy. Instead of being something that robs your peace of mind, will actually give you peace of mind. Would you guys like that? To triple their income and double their time off. That's our goal. That's what our company's committed to. Become a master at what you do and how you do it. Write the goals, pursue the goals, do it, change your life.
So that's Buffini. That's Buffini. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you right now, it could change your business if you jump in there. So if you have some interest in this, I'm trying to put a list together again, 1520. It is worth it. It's worth it. It's an 8-week program. You're going to get tools. You're going to get resources. You're going to get cards. I mean, y'all, I'm telling y'all, you can ask one of the agents who've done it in the past. It's worth every dollar you spend on it. I promise you, you will make that money. Alex Martin, I don't know how much you paid for Buffini when you took it, but have you made your money back from that initial thing? Did you writing those handwritten cards did you make your money back from that investment you made in yourself? And I'm gonna answer for it. She absolutely did. She absolutely did. So think about that. Get with me today. If you have an interest in doing Buffini, it is fantastic. That was the link. The video that I sent yesterday, that was the link. So I gotta go. I gotta get on the road. Be good. Be great. Be you. Love y'all. Have a great day.